Hey there, it's the Star Wars guy coming at you with a quick video today. The Season 2 premiere of The Mandalorian was released mere hours ago, and I'm sharing some of my thoughts on the brand new episode. Now, if you haven't seen the episode and you're worried about spoilers, I'm warning you, turn this off now and come back later. Now, we open basically at a boxing match, except it's two Gamorreans with axes and they're fighting to the death. Mando is looking for information on his people and thinks a guy named Gor Koresh can help. Koresh references a Mando he knows of on Tatooine. Immediately, you should be thinking, this is Boba Fett. Now, as expected, Mando ends up with several guns in his face and has to fight his way out once again. The cold open ends with Gor Koresh being left strung up as food for the night creatures. Welcome to Season 2, everyone. It's a brutal cold open. Following this, we have a quick scene featuring the return of Peli Motto, who is always a joy, in which Mando learns that Mos Pelgo was wiped out by bandits and uncovers its location. And once again, we see Tuskens interacting with Mando, reminding us of his friendliness with their people, and also foreshadowing what's to come later in this episode. Now, throughout The Mandalorian, the Western vibes are real, and none more so in this episode. We literally see him riding into town on a, quote, horse. We've seen this scene so many times in so many movies, and it's very prevalent here. Now we get an amazing reveal of Boba Fett, only it's Timothy Olyphant, so we have so many questions. Well, it turns out this is the Marshal, a man named Cobb Vanth. He's kind of the sheriff of Mos Pelgo. We learn he bought the armor off some Jawas, and just as they're about to duel it out, we're interrupted by what will become the main storyline of this episode. Enter the Krayt Dragon. Now, I've been wanting to see a Krayt Dragon in Star Wars forever, and this episode delivers on that in a big way. I completely underestimated just how terrifying and massive these creatures are. Now, we learn it's been terrorizing the town for a very long time, and everyone wants it gone. Cobb agrees to give Mando his Mandalorian armor in return for helping slay the Krayt Dragon, a win-win for everyone. A sharp eye will notice that Cobb's speeder bike is actually a retrofitted pod racer engine that appears to be the exact same model as Anakin's in Episode 1. And while they're traveling, we learn a little bit more about Cobb and Mos Pelgo's bloody history. They're eventually interrupted and ambushed by Tusken Massifs as they approach their destination. However, as you may have guessed, Mando is friendly with the Tuskens and strikes up a partnership with them. This reveals a major theme throughout this episode: tolerance and acceptance of those different from yourself, as well as coming together as a united front to face a common enemy. Also, that the Tusken language is not exactly pretty. One thing I noticed, the first time we see the Krayt Dragon lair, I thought it was very similar to the lair in Knights of the Old Republic, which is a really great tie-in. I love how this show ties in so many aspects of Star Wars lore in such a beautiful way. We also learned that the Krayt Dragon lives in an abandoned Sarlacc pit, get this, because it ate the Sarlacc. So this thing is not to be messed with. Something I also noticed in this episode is it seems to me that the Tuskens are really just misunderstood. If you've read the Kenobi book, you may already be somewhat familiar with the softer side of this species, and we see it throughout this entire episode. Now, in the climax of this episode, the townspeople of Mos Pelgo, the Tuskens, Mando, and Cobb all unite to finally face this dreaded Krayt Dragon. Also, the Krayt Dragon can apparently shoot flesh-melting acid at will, so there's that too. All hell breaks loose, and their plan fails miserably, so Mando takes matters into his own hands. And it seems to me he disintegrated the Krayt Dragon's insides and then blew it up with a bantha packed with explosives after luring the Krayt Dragon to basically swallow him whole, and he jetpacks out of his mouth. It's one of the most epic things I've ever seen in this entire show, and Mando killed this thing by himself, basically with no help from anyone at the end of the day. Now, it seems to be a happy ending for everyone, but we're not done. The episode ends on the ultimate cliffhanger. That's right, Boba Fett appears, and this time we know it's him because of the actor. Temuera Morrison, who played Jango Fett in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. We know that Boba was a clone of Jango, and therefore would look the exact same. Hence, this must be Boba Fett. It's interesting to me that he's armed with a Tusken gaffy stick and what appears to be a Tusken rifle as well. Now, of course, the last time we saw Boba, he was falling into the Sarlacc pit in Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and naturally, we presumed him dead. So his return here raises many unanswered questions. How, when, and why will he tie in to the Mandalorian story? Boba will no doubt play a big part in the episodes to come. This is an epic ending to the first episode of Season 2. Now, there are other unanswered questions as well. The child. There's still so much we don't know. And while not a lot happens with the child in this episode, it still somehow manages to steal the show with its brilliant reactions and comedic relief. And finally, Moff Gideon and his possession of the Darksaber. This is perhaps the biggest cliffhanger from Season 1. What does it mean? How did he get it? There's so many unanswered questions, and hopefully these will be answered in the coming episodes of Season 2 as well. I love how this series basically offers us little vignettes of Mando's life, with each episode almost standing on its own, and the Season 2 premiere is really no exception to this. However, I'm hopeful for more of a through line this season that ties everything together and starts answering some of those unanswered questions. Well, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Star Wars Guy. Please subscribe below for more Star Wars content every single day, and I'll see you in the next video.